Living in a world that is so interconnected, we are bombarded by information through so many platforms that it is easy to lose the key facts, whether it be through a breaking story of a news organization, social media, or satirical news. Last Week Tonight, hosted by John Oliver, utilizes all three of these platforms to reach a wide audience and give in-depth insight into the topics that they are covering. Although it is generally categorized as a comedy by those who work for the show, there is a wide opinion that the program is actually journalism that incites public debate and change. Time magazine wrote an article on what they coined the John Oliver effect, which shows an increase of both public awareness and even legislative change on issues following the airing of one of his shows. For example, John Oliver did a segment on net neutrality and urged the public to write to the FCC in favor of net neutrality. The next day, the servers of the FCC crashed. Similarly, after a show focusing on the unfairness of civil forfeiture laws, Attorney General Eric Holder promised to limit the power of those laws. However, John Oliver refutes that his satire has any effect on public awareness. An interview on CBS This Morning shows his thoughts on what the show is truly about.
That's it. At the end of the week, we try and find things we're interested in and make people laugh. And if that involves puppets or a salmon cannon, then more the better.
Yet how can his show be purely comedy and not be as effective as news when there's so much research behind each episode? Last Week Tonight airs weekly, not daily like other satirical news programs such as The Daily Show or Colbert Report, much less other programs strictly dedicated to news such as MSNBC, Fox News, and CNN. This is because the staff does so much research that it would be impossible for them to continue with the show as it is if it turned into a daily occurrence.
Satire make points that otherwise might not well be made and make them better?
I've no idea. I think, ideally, satire would not do anything better than anyone.
I asked someone the other night from HBO, by the way, Richard Plepler, why not John, you, 5 nights a week?
Because I don't know if the world wants that, Charlie. I think I'm better in small doses, as we're going to find out this morning.
1 night a week?
But do you want it? Would you like it? A daily
Would I like
show?
to do? You couldn't do what we do on Sunday 5 times across the week. You just can't. We couldn't physically do that to our staff.
The research that Last Week Tonight does for a single show is astounding. An example of this was the show featuring televangelists. Last Week Tonight corresponded with Robert Tilton for 7 months before the show was even filmed to gain as much insight into his church as possible, and then followed up on that by hiring a tax lawyer and establishing their own church, just to prove how easy it was. Through the John Oliver effect and the immense research and preparation that goes into one show, it is hard to argue that Last Week Tonight is just a comedy show and not a legitimate news program.